But when I create art for somebody and it's going to go into someone's home and they're purchasing a piece from me, that's a very personal thing to me. And I want someone to be 150% satisfied, right? Like I don't want someone, if there's ever something that someone buys a piece and they decide, hey, it's the wrong size, it doesn't fit for whatever reason, I'm not happy with it. I want to make it right.
Hey, good afternoon, Mike.
Good afternoon. Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm doing well, thank you. How are you?
Good. This is one of the favorite things that I get to do is I get to interview small business owners in the Atlanta area. And we are so grateful to have you on. I've got Michael Phillips, CEO and founder of Morningside Art. And just coincidentally happens to be related to one of our awesome buyer agents, Jess Phillips, on our team, but that is not why we like him. We're going to go through a little bit about what he does today and where his art came from and how he's inspiring households across the city with his really cool pieces. And I just want to jump right into it. So welcome and tell us a little bit about your art, Mike.
Yeah. So like you said, owner of Morningside Art. I do quite a bit of different art. Honestly, I look at myself as an abstract and impressionist painter. And I think one of the things that's also probably unique about my painting, my artwork is that I make a lot of the frames myself too. So when I say I handcraft, artwork, it truly is handcrafted by myself, painted and framed here in my studio in Morningside. So I do a variety of all different stuff, a lot of textures, neutrals. You'll see greens and blues. I draw a lot of inspiration from nature, things around me, places I've been fortunate enough to travel. See a lot of Southwest hues in some of my artwork, as a big fan of the Southwest desert and cactus and that arid climate down there. But yeah, really quite a variety of artwork.
Right? We personally have a number of them at our office, and it just felt right. Jess shared with us kind of, your Instagram page, and I was like, oh my God, this stuff is super cool. And I'm pretty choosy about what I put up on the walls, and I wasn't going to just buy any old piece of art. And so when I saw your stuff, I was like, okay, not only does it support somebody I deeply care about, it's local and it's super attractive. This makes a lot of sense. So we love the pieces that we have. And I know our agents have bought stuff for their new homes. So you're a fan favorite over here at Anna Kay in town for sure. When you came to measure, I was asking you about your background and you kind of gave me your story. You are not an artist by trade or by background. So tell me kind of your history. Like, how did you get into all this?
Yeah, great question. I wouldn't say I am by no means a classically trained artist, but I was up in Chicago. So before I moved back to Atlanta, I spent about 4 years in Chicago, but I relocated back to Atlanta probably last October. And being in Chicago during the pandemic, small, cramped condo during the lockdown, it got me a little cabin feverish, if you will, and it kind of drew me back into looking for things to use as a creative outlet. So I pulled back out some of my art supplies, some of the drawing stuff I used to do, and kind of just got back into it. It became a daily rhythm of doing something, that was creative, artistic, kind of got me in just a different mindset and just a nice way to start the day. And then when I moved back to Atlanta, funny enough, I really liked what I was doing. So I decided here in Atlanta, I had a little more space to start to play with some different things. So I got a lot more into actually painting. And then funny enough, my wife, so we moved into our new house, which you thankfully helped us find here. We love in the Morningside neighborhood. We needed a lot of art for the place because we moved again from a very small place in Chicago. We needed some art to go on the walls. And my wife, Lauren, who has a very good eye for design and art in general, put some stuff in front of me and said, hey, I love this, this work I've seen at this, retailer, I've seen this artist online. What do you think about it? And of course I look at it and go, I love it. It's beautiful. I think I could do something like that. Let me try something out. So I kind of got into, trying some different stuff, just playing around with things and making the art, making the frames. It kind of all came together at one time. And then once I did the pieces for myself, I shared it with some friends and family, had really great feedback. And, actually a friend of mine signed me up as a first true client of Morningside Art and said, hey, I'd love to commission a piece from you. And it kind of took off from there. Honestly, it became a hobby into a real business.
Yeah. We call that a side hustle. It's like, how do you make some extra money while you're like working for a company, but it's also COVID? Are you full-time doing this, or is this something that you're still gaining traction on? Like, what is your vision for Morningside Art over the next couple of years?
Yeah. So for right now, this is still kind of a part-time venture for me. It's something I say it's part-time, side hustle, but it feels very much like a second full-time job. So I've got my normal kind of 9 to 5, but I put a lot of my, time, effort, energy into building the Morningside Art business. And I'm, hopeful in a couple of years, maybe this is something that actually propels itself and becomes a full-time gig for me. And this is what I spend the majority or most all of my time doing, which is what I would love to do, because this is the stuff I wake up every morning. I get really excited about doing, and I have to actually pry myself away from doing it to sit down in front of my computer and get to work on the 9 to 5 stuff that drags at me as well.
Anyone that's ever seen the pieces that I have is always like, this is super cool. It's like really textured and like really edgy, and I feel like it speaks to in town. I think a couple of the pieces that Ryan bought, the black and white ones that were really neat, was what drew my eye to it. So I really love that. So Mike, what inspires you? Like, obviously I feel like artists need some sort of like something to channel to like get into their zone. Like, what are you vibing on right now? What inspires you?
Yeah, it's honestly, it's a mix of things. I mentioned coming from Chicago, I really liked, and you even kind of said in town here in Atlanta, right? Like, I like that city vibe, that kind of a little bit edgy, gritty vibe, if you will. I also, like I said, I pull things from nature inspiration. I really, when I'm home, I truly like kind of calm, relaxing, neutral things. But I pull from, like I mentioned, the trips to the Southwest that my wife and I do, Sedona. So I pull from really kind of different everyday facets of my life, or things that I've been able to experience. And a lot of my art is abstract. So it's not that I'm painting a representational image of something. I'm really kind of painting something that gives you a feeling, or you look at it, it gives you a certain sense of something, right? So you can kind of do that in a lot of different ways. And that's really what I'm trying to capture when I'm making some of this art.
I have heard that you've been spotted across town at a couple different festivals. Is this a route that you're going to tap into?
Yeah, it's something I'm considering. I wasn't really sure if I wanted to do physical festivals, if you will. It's something that I thought could be a potential outlet. There's some really cool, Atlanta's a great city, right? It's got a very vibrant art scene. There's some really well-known festivals and art-centric events that go on throughout the city. And something that happened actually down the street from us, the Virginia Highlands Winterfest, was a local popular event that we actually attended last year. I thought would be a kind of a cool way to dip our toes into trying a physical event, seeing how it went, seeing if the effort was worth going through, if people who attend an event like that are actually in the market to buy some art. And it turned out really well. We sold a bunch of pieces. We made a lot of connections with people and had some sales after the fact as well. So it's something I'll probably continue to do, maybe a handful of a year, maybe 2, 3, 4 maximum here in the local area. I definitely would like to do local Atlanta-based events, but yeah, we'll see.
Have you ever done a grand opening? I wonder if you'd come to our grand opening and be one of our preferred vendors. I think it'd be a really great partnership.
I think that would be an awesome opportunity. I'd look forward to it.
We'll be having our grand opening in March here in the Inman Park area. I think every time I see you and you come back across my radar, I think about all these great ideas. Like, what if some of our vacant listings had like an art pop-up or something, like a little wine and cheese strawberry thing where you could have art up on the walls to kind of just showcase the house, but then you also had an art pop-up. I just feel like there's a lot of ways that we can collaborate together that makes sense to bring art into the community, really showcase art in a way that it's supposed to be showcased, which is up on a beautiful wall in a beautiful space, and support your business in the meantime. So we'd be honored to think more about that.
My brain's always going similar with kind of different ways to get the art out there. And I think, real estate, homes, no more natural connection than that to get the art displayed in front of people like that. So I think that'd be a welcome opportunity.
Absolutely. Well, is there anything about the art industry or anything else about your business that you just are dying for us to know, or maybe something I haven't asked you yet?
2022 was when I started this business, really. And I launched the business in July. So it's still very much in its infancy, if you will. And my mind is going 24/7 about different things I would like to do and try with art. So I think what you're going to see in 2023 is a lot of different stuff. It's funny. I think you'll look at some artists and they have take like a Hunt Sloanum, right? You're going to look and see that bunny and you're going to know it's Hunt Sloanum. I think with my art, it's a little bit different, that I like so many different things and I like to try and experiment with so many different things. You'll see all different types of art that run the gamut of, from wild color, bright, loud, in your face type art to very tranquil, subdued, neutral colorways. So I think, keep your eye out in 2023. You'll see a lot of different experimentation, a lot of different stuff coming out of the Morningside studio.
What's your medium of choice right now? Like, what do you love working with?
Yeah, acrylic is what I work with the most. I thought about trying some oil, but I'm mostly in acrylic, and then I've got some kind of some texture work, which I know you've got some examples in your office of the texture work that I do. So those are really the two main ones: acrylic paint, and then this texture medium that I work with. And I've actually started recently combining the textured and acrylic colorways to do some fun textured color pieces. So I've got some different things I'm playing with today, whether it's some bright greens or blues or kind of more subdued neutral tones as well. Reach out to me. I'm happy to do something custom, whether it's different sizes, different styles, colors, different custom frames. Like I mentioned, I make most of my own frames for my artwork. So we really got the opportunity to custom size, color, you name it. Sky's the limit. The last two commissions that I've done have been two pretty large scale commissions. And I'd say they're both styles that I necessarily wouldn't have probably come up with on my own necessarily, but they're what my two clients want. And they've probably been two of the favorite pieces that I've created. One was a really kind of Southwest-ish inspired mountain impressionist type landscape. And the other was like a very edgy, gritty piece for an LA-based designer. But if there's something you want and you're interested, definitely reach out. I'd be happy to partner with someone. Be honored to put something in someone's home or office.
Well, I really appreciate that. And, thinking about how I live my life and how most Americans live their life, I think in this day and age, people are kind of in this like instant gratification phase. And obviously buying a piece that is available kind of checks that box. But I was really impressed with your turnaround time. I think you under promised and over delivered, but also even the under promising was much quicker than I would have anticipated. So I didn't have to wait forever to get this really cool piece that I was dreaming of. So I just love that. And sometimes when you commission pieces, you kind of at the whim of the artist's schedule and kind of what else they have going on. So I just love that about your service.
If you want something done custom, I usually kind of take it to the head of the line. I get super excited about working on something for someone specifically. So it definitely gets the priority treatment. So yeah, I'd like to be able to turn things around and get someone's home as fast as we can.
If you could think about a core value that your company, that you instill in Morningside Art, obviously people associate an artist with their work, but you have a variety of work, but how you show up for your clients and kind of like what you pour into your business, what would you say is like a core value that you feel like your company exemplifies?
The word that comes to mind first is trustworthy. But when I create art for somebody and it's going to go into someone's home and they're purchasing a piece from me, that's a very personal thing to me. And I want someone to be 150% satisfied, right? Like I don't want someone, if there's ever something that someone buys a piece and they decide, hey, it's the wrong size, it doesn't fit for whatever reason, I'm not happy with it. I want to make it right. And the same thing goes with the commission. I know a lot of artists that you tell them, hey, I want this commission, they'll create it and that's it, right? When I do commissions, I'll let you give feedback, I'll share something and we'll do it till we get it right. Again, like I said, you're buying something from me. I want you to be super happy. I want to feel like when it gets delivered, you're so excited to get on the wall. You look at it every day and you're thrilled with it. So that's really kind of the way I think about approaching my business. It's an art business, but it's a people business in a lot of ways.
Anything else you want to share with us? This has been so insightful for me. I'm so grateful to have you on. I'm excited to have you as a part of our kickoff, our grand opening for our new office building, and just really grateful to be in partnership with you.
Yeah, no, again, thanks I think this is an awesome thing that you guys do.
Well, Michael, how do people find you? Like if somebody wanted to commission a piece or they just wanted to check out your Instagram, how do they find you?
Morningside_art on Instagram. And then our website is morningsideartatl.com.
Awesome. Thank you, Mike. Really good to see you, man. Come by soon.
Bye.
Bye.